Hello and welcome back to the analysis desk here at the FACEIt LAN finals. Completely reversed experience there on the second map of the series.
Yeah,
right,
I mean, we did mention NiP does not play Overpass. In fact, they actively ban it. They don't even want a chance to play it normally. But under these differing circumstances of banning out Cobble, VP had the chance to say, right, well, we're gonna kind of punish you for taking out Cobble. We're gonna pick Overpass. And the problem was, it wasn't that great a game, if I'm being honest. It was a bit one-sided the whole way. Even when NiP got rounds, they never really got close enough to actually contend for the map. But we did have one exciting moment, okay, which was Pasha was sat there. He was in a good position. And then suddenly Counter-Strike was like, I'm out of here, see ya. And then Counter-Strike just closed up, and we heard one of the top 5. Ready? I'm gonna rank it here. It was in my top 5 all time. Kurva! And then it was just like that. It sounded exactly like. See, they tell me not to swear, but that's not actually in English. So technically, unless you put subtitles on, no one could ever know. You know.
But now everyone knows because you've just referenced it.
I didn't say which word was the swear word.
You mean
that's
not the
my
one
legal defence?
The one you just blarted out.
That's my legal defence. So yeah, anyway.
That was actually very unfortunate. He didn't seem best.
Pretty good impression, right, DDK? It's pretty good.
I don't know anything about. No.
Counter-Strike.
Anything.
Plead the fifth.
Yeah. Okay.
No comment.
See, it's a difficult one to analyse, right? Like, not a lot happened except the complete steamrolling of NiP.
Well, I mean, it was kind of close for a while. I mean, there was a lot of close rounds towards the beginning, but as soon as the economy got rolling,
see, DDK, when it started off 0-0, it was like really close. And then when VP was only sort of like 4 rounds ahead, like they weren't they weren't more than about 4 ahead at that point in time. But then later in the round, you know, when we'd had sort of over 10 and they were many rounds ahead, then it really got away from them, I feel.
Anyway, there are a bunch of really tight rounds. We're leading up to the point where Virtus.Pro eventually got their economy secured, and then it was a smooth sailing from there. As soon as they broke, NiP's. Is this analysis, Dorian, or is this nitpicking?
Is it analysis? That's what I'm asking. Yeah.
No.
Or is it nitpicking?
I don't know.
Well, there were close rounds at the beginning of the game.
I think this is time for me to come in.
I don't know what's going on here. I don't know.
Let's
Can we mute their mics real quick and we'll just continue on?
I feel like a rose between two thorns. Help me out.
That was good. That was the Star Ladder reference as well. You are a rose. I think the bigger issue, aside from this, is now that tournaments are going to this ban pick set phase, NiP don't have a deep enough map pool right now. And if more and more people catch on, if anyone who plays Cobblestone at all, obviously that's going to have to be a ban. NiP need to learn one of these 2 maps really quickly, because if anyone catches on to how weak they actually are on Overpass, more and more teams are playing it. It's only going to get harder for them every single tournament from now on.
After that, I think a lot of people know. Like, they're going to have to do something about it, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so the third map is Cash. Walk us through, Thorin. Who should be winning this one?
Now, this is really tough because actually, up until about maybe 2 tournaments ago, NiP had been looking really strong on Cash. It was looking like, I would have said, their best map at the time. They managed to beat Fnatic on it. They managed to beat Envious on it. So they were looking like, wow, if they can beat the 2 best teams in the world on it. And by the way, those are very good Cash teams. So it looked like, right, this is the main map for NiP. The problem is, since then, other teams have also shown, this is like the main map that every team plays at the moment. All the top 6 to 7 teams all play Cash in general, all like Cash. So my big problem here is I've seen VP win so many clutch games on this map. They've beaten TSM on it, they beat Titan on it, ESEA. I feel like actually this is a great map for VP as well. So I'm hoping this means we get like, after those 2 one-sided games, we get the classic third map, okay? We get the really long, like 16-13, 16-14 to whoever.
69 round overtime, 4 overtimes again.
Yeah.
This is also a map, by the way, that there's been a lot of overtimes on as well, actually, because it's so difficult on the T side to string together those rounds. So we've had it in between Titan and NiP at Star Series, I think it was. Had it between VP and TSM at some point in time. Maybe Copenhagen Games there. I'm still going to go with NiP overall. I feel like NiP at the moment should be the better team, even if VP have had slightly better form in this tournament. But I think this is going to be very close. I don't think this has any chance of being one-sided.
What makes you say NiP over VP?
This is the map. Here's the hard thing. On this map, I feel like some of the strengths of NiP really shine out. Like, Alu is really good at countering the AWPers on this map. So it counters some of the mid control, which is usually VP's specialty on this map. They're the best team at doing that on T side, mid control. But I feel like Alu has really smart control over when to peek someone. Right. He changes up his angles on when he's going to spot the guys doing the boost. And I also think this is a great map for Get Right. It's a great lurkers map. He's so good in those 1v2, 2v2 situations. So those two players combined, and they are the best players for NiP at the moment, it all kind of keys together for me to be a great chance for NiP. But as I said, I think VP is incredibly strong in it. So I think it has to be those two who shine.
Yeah, the other aspect of Alu is by winning those mid battles like he normally does, he usually discourages people from heading toward him, or just by winning that one-on-one initially, he stays alive really late in rounds, and he's really good at then coming up highway and supporting onto A. He's super efficient in that role. He's closed out a lot. I would say if you look at closing out rounds, I'd say he's probably on pace with Get Right on this particular map in the A site. He's really good at coming in, and again, he changes his angle. He'll come from up the ladder onto the catwalk, from the ticket booth, down right at the barrels. He's just really, really calculated on how he gets back up there.
So it's going to be a close one, and we've pinpointed a couple of players on the NiP side who we feel might pick it up on this map. What about the VP side? Who will need to shine for Virtus.Pro, Dan?
For me, it's Snacks has always been a really big one. But the interesting thing with Snacks is that he used to be quite iconic in the fact that he would always. I think maybe he was considered the best player in the vents position, which is basically one of the most important positions on the entire map because you have very fast rotations to mid and A and to B. So you're basically the everyman, and you've got to worry about so many different things. It's kind of like Crims on Connector in some senses on Mirage. So that's kind of what Snacks did, but he actually has moved away from that position recently. Virtus.Pro have been reinventing themselves on a lot of maps, and we see Snacks actually AWPing more and AWPing B as well. So actually, I'm gonna say Snacks actually, how well Snacks is able to play as well as Pasha, because we're alluding to how important Alu is in his AWPing and also the pick battles. So to me, I'm gonna say Pasha and Snacks on this one.
Let's have predictions.
Okay. I mean, I'll take NiP 16-13.
Yeah, and I'll pass it over to these guys with your predictions as well, and for you to take it away with Cash.
It's definitely going to be double digits both teams. I'm scared to call it. I'll be the daredevil here, and I'll go. I think VP could actually take this. So I don't know the score. 16-13, sure.
I actually am with you with the VP prediction. Something else which I really love about Virtus.Pro on this map, because Thorin was talking about the mid control. Is that another AWP?
No, it was so close to a knife, though. It's another AWP, but I almost got double
knives?
green.
Oh my god. All right, so we're gonna have the
Speaking of knives,
right now, but yeah. So as a quick point, Thorin mentioned how strong the mid play Virtus.Pro is and how much of a specialty that is for them. Now, they're one of the teams that are amazing. Again, I always mention this when I see Virtus.Pro. They're very good at abusing pace, and on this map, it's one of the best maps for that kind of style of play, because once you take middle, you can really slow down the round like massively, or speed up the round massively, or you can have a slow round into a fast mid, into a slow round. And there's so many ways you can play with that, and what it does on your T sides is it forces the CTs to have to be like, what's going on right now? What do we need to find out what's happening, because then what they have to do is reposition. They have to try to play for some information, and that's when, as a T side, you can really capitalize with your pace and just like turn up the pace again, steamroll them, or like catch them going for those picks. You put them in those awkward spots. Virtus.Pro are great at that, and they're also great with the Molotovs. So this is one of the reasons why I always feel like they're so strong here, because I love their T sides. But NiP, it's close. I didn't have made my prediction. As we're going to piss around, I'm going to say 16-14 Virtus for me.
Took you a long time to get there.
Yeah, I did.
I was kind of waiting.
Got there in the end.
I forgot what the question was. I was actually just watching a Counter-Strike game that's starting, and we are in the pistol round.
Oh, yes.
Of said game, and of course it is NiP once again starting out T-side. Look at this boost from Virtus.Pro. They're going to put 2 players inside the vent, so talk about mid-control. And they won't drop. This will give them support onto B. The problem is that this essentially puts 3 on the B side, weakens up A just a little bit. As a result, we're already seeing Taz sliding up that highway.
So this is very much an A retake kind of style play, and I like that they're both kind of on vents, because that even speeds up the rotation for the A retake. But NiP, they're so slow at the moment, and it looks like they want to go for an A split. Maybe 1 player or 2 players over the top and mid maybe, but perhaps not. They've got 4 towards A main and Squeaky, so 1 player is going to be Get Right, who's going to lurk into mid, but there's 2 players in the vent room.
And it's Forrest that's going to come out Squeaky. See if his pistol game is on, as he's known for. He's forced off the door initially as it opens up. The smoke comes out. He can't find the angle, and Alu over top of The forklift also can't land the shot, but it equally turned out now NiP's landing them. There we go. Exist with one, Get Right and Freiburg each chime in with one of their own. And look at this, Neo's forced way back. Still can't land one onto Alu, who's up on top of Catwalk. Snacks, who comes up highway, finds it equally challenging. Finally does get one. That's Forrest over top. Just the pixel to fire at, and he does accurately remove it from the map as Freiburg will get him in the end, and it's just going to be Neo. And unfortunately, not much he can do at all. So NiP is going to start off 1-0. Great start. The start they need. And again, this map, the meta's it's over a long period of time has shifted. It's, I think, 8-7. These two teams specifically should be around 8-7. I think if NiP actually want to win this, they need to pick up, I would say, close to 9 on their T side.
Yeah, I mean...
Unless Alu's on, then that changes their whole CT complexion.
Yeah, I feel like Virtus.Pro, if they're going to want to actually have a strong side here, they need to get like themselves at 8-9 at least on the CT side to feel even comfortable at all. But it's going to be lots of Deagles, like 3 Deagles left here. Neo, Snacks, and Pasha. We're seeing more and more Deags, especially with the Eastern European teams, to be honest.
And the thing is, it is a pistol that gives you range, and with the SMG buys, they don't have much range themselves, so it actually favors them in this regard. As we see, they're able to put a lot more damage into the players that are stuck inside Cubby, but there's the AK to show up, and that's why it is in play right now. It can make those shots, and Exist makes no mistake, taking 2 headshots against VP. Finally, Bialy gets one back and forced. That's your first NiP player down, despite the low HP on 2, arguably 3 on Alu's case. But Bialy's only on 7.
Oh,
Neo's
that
gonna put that
nade.
nade out.
Oh, look at the HP on 3 of them. They're all sub 20. That was really sweet. And Bialy might be able to get something done here. This is actually getting a little bit interesting. Oh, missed the shot, the key shot there on Get Right. They're a very healthy player, but he's so low now as well. Look at the HP on all of them.
That's crazy. Get Right gets away with
goodness.
1. Any other player took that peek, they were down to the Deagle. And he's actually a bit lucky that second shot didn't finish him off.
Oh yeah, I mean 1 HP again. Okay, so NiP they've got 2 rounds on the board now. 0 for Virtus.Pro. Virtus.Pro invested quite a lot, and that means we'll probably only see an AWP onto Pasha in the next round. But that's going to be really important, as the AWP defense can be so super strong on this map. Here goes the mid take here from NiP, and NiP are one of these teams that has kind of they don't focus so much on their kind of pinpoint executions when it comes to like mid takes, but I think Virtus.Pro have quite a few of those, so I would expect Virtus.Pro on their T side to have stronger mid takes, and it could be a way that Virtus.Pro, if they're gonna if we're gonna have like both teams say, hey, because sometimes you have this map, this kind of a style of game where both teams don't want to give up mid. They're both going to be like, well, if you want to take mid, we're not going to give it to you. We're going to fight you, and then everyone dies in mid.
I mean, the bomb sites are as far apart as they could possibly be, and mid does have 2 direct connectors to them. It's extremely important. As Katie will point out, they don't upgrade. They keep these SMGs in play. We saw them do a similar play to this against Immunity yesterday, because if they don't upgrade, it still gives them economy moving forward, and they can play for these exits and just secure more frag money. That's going to have to be the case because they're already down and erased. It's just the AK's up, and Taz has already spotted the player directly below. It kind of gives up the round in a way. If they win it, it's even better. It builds their economy even further. They win it with SMGs, then they can potentially upgrade at that point. Actually, at that point, they'd actually probably keep them for 1 more because it would break the economy on VP's side. But even losing it here, as we say, they don't invest a whole lot. They'll go right to a full buy now, and in some regards, just getting damage dealt in that second round. If they win it here, it's the exact same. You give up a round, but you actually reset the economy back in your favor.
Exactly. It's actually kind of an interesting risk in that way, where you're saying, like, you know, we kind of can just do something really, really risky right now because we know that we have the safety to actually reset them, and we have enough buys to try to get that done. So that's actually kind of interesting. It's like it's the closest thing to like planning to lose a round without losing a round, and still, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, it doesn't cost them anything to do it, really.
And yeah. We'll have to see if Virtus.Pro can keep themselves in this right now, because they need to build that economy. They need to string a few rounds together here.
I mean, keep in mind, if they buy and if they upgrade there and they lose that round, then they're in a lot tighter position now, whereas just by getting kills in the last round, it actually boosted their economy further, so that they potentially could buy 1 more after this as well. It's playing the long game, essentially.
Yeah, and there's the Molotov into the vent area. That's going to actually suggest to Virtus.Pro that NiP want to take middle here. And they already had 3 players ready to defend against some delayed middle take, which is very common on Cash, as teams expect players to kind of go back a little bit, but Virtus.Pro haven't. They still have 3 players close enough to mid, and Pasha's going to get a frag onto mid again. So Snacks, they tried to use 1 Molotov to force him out, but he smoked it off. And the second one is a bit too short, so they might think that he's not there now.
And he'll pop out Yet to come around the corner, though, is Freiburg. Now he does. Look how low he is, 16 HP. Fortunately, he doesn't peek all the way around.
Smacks
and
out
head
everything.
back toward, A main. Yeah, exactly. Although he's still looking back to B, because I think he may have expected them to run toward connector. Now the gig's up. Taz will make the call. Flash goes out. Bialy's forced out, but it doesn't matter. They're so low. He picks up Get Right. Forrest somehow still finds Taz across the top of the forklift, and unfortunately, though, bomb not able to get planted before it's dropped on the ground, and Forrest has to run. Try and save the op, but unfortunately,
I thought you were going to say run, Forrest, run there, but you didn't. You didn't go there.
Oh, no, I didn't.
I've actually never said that before, and it only just occurred to me.
You just wasted it, too. Like, you didn't even get it in at a good moment.
Hey, you know what? I think that's so lame that I want to get it out the way with.
That's fine.
I think it's too lame for even me.
It was clever, but lame.
Clever, but lame. Okay, so 3-2. So Virtus.Pro looked pretty good here to hold on. We got the AWP for Alu. Full buy from NiP. So Virtus.Pro, this could be pretty good for them. If they keep things going here, they're going to start stringing together the rounds as NiP run out of cash, but this is a sneaky boost.
We used to see iBuyPower do this boost a lot with Skadoodle.
So many teams know the angles, though it rarely is successful these days.
I mean, all it is it's not taking the fight. It's not putting yourself in a position where you're exposed. Obviously, it's a very narrow shot, and if anyone gets impatient or slides back toward highway from the connector, you get them. You get them on the way by. It's more of it's a low risk, low probability play, but when it pays off, it pays off massively because it's a man down almost for free.
Yeah, definitely a good way to put it. And well, Bialy's going to get tested here, and he's going to be on the quad boxes at the back of the A bomb site. He's got help here. Pasha's over there as well, so they've kind of read this well enough. The nades have come in. It's a little bit slow. There is the peak. Alu was waiting for it, but Bialy's there. Takes down Exist. They didn't count on Bialy, but he's still alive, keeping himself in that position. He's a constant threat. Just Freiburg left. He's able to take down Bialy, but still players left and right. And one on A main as well on his flank. So this is going to be very problematic here. He's stuck in the corner. He has 20 seconds to get the bomb planted as well. Or just pick up all these frags. Gets the kill onto Taz. But Freiburg, he's somehow still alive. 6 points of health. Looking for the next shots, but Virtus.Pro are playing this cautiously now. Freiburg trying to fake them out. But he's got 8 seconds left to plant the bomb. And they are just bringing around the rosies here on the red container. And it's going to be the frag for Snacks.
So back to a tie game as quickly as possible. I'm surprised Freiburg didn't die to A main, like you said. And I'm more surprised that he went for the peek at the guy on truck when he'd already been shot at through the wall from A main. He knew the player was there. And VP closed out the round. Freiburg tries his best to make it interesting. There was also an M4 down beside him. So that was him having full confidence that he would find the picks with the op. Because if he goes for the M4, he can actually try and just limit the angles. And now we finally see NiP have to concede to just the pistols. Get Right does have the Tech 9. He's the only one. Freiburg has the D. Bialy's been a menace so far. Punishing them by death every time they come into the site. And Taz is the one to do the work. Bialy slides this time. Slightly different angle. Taz over the top, and together they make quick work of just about all of them. It's only Get Right they haven't found, and they will. Give it time and they will, and Taz proves that to be true.
So nice clean round there for Virtus.Pro, but NiP going to be back onto the buy. Now, they haven't found a lot of success in middle so far. It's been a little bit the kind of slower and delayed plays haven't really rewarded them. So we might even see a very fast play. Again, the thing with NiP is that they don't go for that very often because they don't tend to have the executes. And they're kind of running executes into mid like some teams do. So instead, we're going to see Get Right lurking towards B. And I think he's actually the best B lurker on this map as a T player. He gets sometimes he just kill both players on B. Sometimes he's super good at that. But we have the A main take here for Virtus.Pro. They're taking map control away from NiP straight away. They got Neo in that position towards A main so he can spot everything. They can even leave him there now as well and move back to middle if they want. And over the top, NiP with the delayed mid play. What are they going to get from this?
Well, they've already got an entry from Get Right onto A. Neo does respond, but with mid open, they've got full options, and they've called it. It's a stack toward A. There's 2 players there, only one on B, so through the vents they go. And down and out goes Snacks. This will give them the bomb plant. The question is, how does Forrest want to play this? He's still toward middle. He could have cut them off on the way by. Instead, he plays it passively. They're already past. And in toward heaven, Neo's going to be the first one to arrive. Needs to find a shot very quickly. Because the positions from NiP are quite strong. Only one inside the site. That's Alu. Freiburg not even going to peek from inside B halls. And Forrest is still out toward mid. Freiburg does find Neo that time and in through the smoke. Get Right finds Bialy.
All right, so that time NiP made the mid play actually work on the delay, and it's actually kind of surprising that happened because Virtus.Pro, it's not as if they didn't have some info there. They actually pushed A main with 2 players. Now, I think in that kind of a situation, they put too much focus on it for too long and didn't really use the information they got from it to help their rotations. And there's a nice pre-nade there, but NiP with a fast mid play now, so NiP mixing up the pace, trying to get in on top of this defense, and Virtus.Pro, they don't have anyone there. Perhaps they feel conditioned now for NiP never to go for these plays, but Freiberg's in there, so they have no idea really what's going on.
None at all, as Neo backside does need to collect Freiberg as quickly as possible. Snax slides in and bails him. Good counter peek from Snax, because Freiberg, by all rights, had Neo trapped. And this slows down NiP massively. Bomb still waiting out toward middle. They're slowly grouping toward the mid because 2 players have already dropped over, but look how low on HP they are. Forrest does get up close to the white box. Needs to come around quickly. Smoke goes out. Taz is forward of it. Knows his position's there and peeks. Now he uses it to his advantage. Look at that. The Smoke's counterplayed. Watch out. Taz is to the right. Is he going to slide through just in time? He's heard, though, but he also is going to find Get Right over the box as he falls back. He's too busy reloading. Nonetheless, Bialy is waiting up above and rains down on top of Exist. They'll get back in the lead by 1, but we are getting the close game we expected.
Yeah, so far so good actually for both teams. And you kind of alluded to the 8-7 kind of possibility here, and it's on track for that at the moment, but it is the eco here for NiP, and Neo's rocking the AWP. Now, where is Neo going exactly? He's going towards B. He's going to be the B-man here for Virtus.Pro in this round with the AWP. And he's very good at doing this. It's all on the lonesome. Now, he's going to have help. Snax is coming back towards B to give him a hand, and they've got a really passive and defensive setup. Have Virtus.Pro, no real mid presence, just a guy peeking and spotting in there. They want NiP to come to them because they know their money is hurting.
Flash will slow them a little bit more, but not much else. These pistols try and use the wall of smoke to the advantage, but Pasha, 1 stray bullet finds the head of Forrest. Neo waiting for these hot shots. He gets dinked up. He hasn't found the kill just yet. Neo does get one on Freiberg. Get Right's the only one to get anyone down in the end.
That's kind of one of those crazy situations where you're like looking at Neo and you're like, wait, how did you? There's like more like players slowing on your screen than like anything else, but how did that not connect?
Exactly. You gotta wonder where that bullet went. Just disappeared inside the barrel. So NiP will force up the Galil onto Exist and get the AKs out. The interesting thing is that VP don't have much more of an economy advantage, so there is still a chance NiP can get back into it now, but if they don't, even if they lose this round, if they don't keep it close and make it a contest all the way through and do some damage to VP, it will start to slip away. This round actually means quite a bit in terms of how our halftime scoreline will look.
He does, and the A main take here from Virtus.Pro again. Now this time they don't have as much presence towards A. They leave that guy in A main. He can give them a lot of info. He can, of course, warn them if an A play is brewing from NiP. So this is a better way for them to actually approach this now. They got good mid presence. This round, this setup looks much better from Virtus.Pro than the previous one. And NiP, their mid take is going to be spotted. Taz up close is going to find Freiberg. Gets the second as well. Alu goes down, and it's problems here for NiP. They have to go for the push on the A bomb site, but Pasha's there. He's low. Now what is he going to get from this? Absolutely nothing. It's going to be Bialy in for the save.
Nade goes in, does do an okay amount of damage to Forrest, but not quite. Actually, he evaded that completely. It only did 3 damage as he switched his position to put the bomb down, and now they've got 2v2, but Get Right has to lurk and get this kill right now. He over-peaks it. He thought he would be further to the right, and Neo in the corner brings this down to only 1 man left for NiP. Forrest has to hold one off with the fire. That gives away his position, but an excellent counter peek catches off Bialy. Knew exactly how he was going to read that. Fire does go out on him. Forces him, but does he peek it? It's not deep enough. Forrest still has a little bit to contend with, and somehow Neo comes around the corner and still gets the shot. And does have the defuse with this kit.
Bomb has been defused.
Close one. Very close. 7-4 the score now, but NiP getting the bomb down are going to have some cash to play with, and they are going to go for the save here. How many rounds have NiP lost in a row? I wonder.
It would be they reset at 4. Yeah, it's only 3 exactly. Yeah, it was.
So next round they're going to get 2,900 bucks on the. When they lose this, if they lose this, they get 2,900 bucks. So strong buy-in from them. Tech 9 armor, bringing that number into account. And keeping
Again,
themselves
though,
above
they
2K.
did get a lot of kills in that round, which still does limit VP. They haven't pulled out massively ahead yet, but again, the numbers are starting to stack up on VP's side.
Ooh, okay, we've got Virtus.Pro with some interesting positions here. Bjarni up close. He's not been shown there just yet in this CT half, so they might not expect it. They're in with the Tech Knights, moving quickly. Bjarni, he's got to have good crisis management here. Which target does he pick? It's going to be just one player taken down by him. That's not exactly good enough, but it should be okay still for Virtus.Pro. They've got Neo and Snacks rotating in with the rifles. The bomb is planted, though.
Alu desperately wanted that M4, but almost over-peaked onto Snacks and on the low HP. That would have been massively detrimental, and now that Freiburg's down, it's a good thing he didn't, or the round would already be over. They're going to chase him, and coming from either side, there's nothing he can do. So they'll double up. It was close. Now it's starting to slowly spread a little bit in Virtus.Pro's favor.
Yeah, the CT half is looking pretty darn good at the moment, and they haven't actually managed to get many B splits going. Interestingly, that's kind of a bread and butter sort of play that you often expect from a T side to see fairly often, but we're seeing more towards the A side of things, generally speaking, and they haven't been super successful in taking the B. And you pretty much need middle if you're ever going to try to do that. And Virtus.Pro have been generally winning middle or giving it up completely. So interesting stuff here. And now it looks like they want to push Snacks in B storage for some early information. He's not going to push too much though, so keeping it pretty low risk for now.
Taz this time is the one that gets into cubby corner.
So I think he's waiting here for Neo to actually take a shot past him. His Snacks in B storage, and then he's going to peek out and get a frag if there's someone there, but there is no one there, and they're in onto the A bomb site. Taz with the better position though, able to find the kill onto Forest and reclaim the site. Forest kind of just poking his neck out there. No one else supporting him or anything like that.
The same play we saw last time when they got behind Bialy. This time there was no smokes to cover off Taz's angle, and no one that came through A main to keep him busy and locked in position either. So that was essentially suicide on Forrest's part. Little did he know, but the alert doesn't pay off. This time they get the bomb down. It's still 2-on-2, and now they get the advantage. Last time, similar situation. It actually went to VP on the first frag, and with Alu and the op-out finding 2 in this round, it's definitely made a difference as Snacks now has to come the hard way. Door is open. That's to his advantage. If it wasn't, there would be no way in. As soon as that's heard, he would be spotted. He gets the first. It exists down. Alu just has to hold the angle, but the bomb's pointed deep enough. He's not going to have the angle at all. He's got to force the issue. He's holding this 1 second left, and Alu. Oh my God, the no-scope. That's too close for comfort. NiP get their 5th regardless.
Oh, that was ridiculous. That was really smart of Snacks as well to go for that. When he checked the close positions and realized, he's like, boom, I'm going for this hold. And it was so tight as well. And the thing is that if he didn't go for that, I actually think that that's the best percentage play there as well. So Snacks he just knew straight away. Really smart stuff. But in goes Alu now. Next round, looking for the fast pick onto Neo. The flick comes in, but both players will miss in this instance. And NiP just kind of swapping up their picking style at the start of this round, using the timings, getting themselves spread across the map. And once again, we may just see a delayed mid-take, but Pasha is up close this time. And this could be the advantage for Virtus.Pro. And they're ready to go over the top here, our NiP.
The interesting thing is there's no smoke off right now on the garage. Okay, there is. It is deep. And Pasha could have been picked off with the second player, but look at Freiburg all the way over. Gets both. That was a massive threat from Pasha, like you said, and he still manages to get the kill.
And they had Pasha on the angle opening, and I swear that shot looked like it was dead on him, but it's not going to work this time, and he's going to get Neo's going to get crushed from short. They just don't have the players on the angle, but Bialy with a double. But is it going to be enough here for Snacks? I mean, Snacks is the retake master of Virtus.Pro. This is the situation that he's so good at clutching, but he has 3 players, not 2, not 1, but 3 to deal with. So
the good news is if he found one now, okay, this actually turns out to be bad. I was going to say if he found one now and got deep enough in the site, we do have the flank coming out from Freiburg, where it isn't going. Nice aim. Good job, Freiburg. Where he doesn't find anyone and sits stationary, Freiburg could get in position quite easily. What a round from him as well. Not even, just count that frag to close it out. Those 2 entries at middle were massive.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's completely round changing, and it's a spot that Virtus.Pro had anticipated. They actually had the perfect setup to deal with it. They had a guy not only AWPing the exact right angle and having an advantage there, an unexpected angle, but a guy right below. That you can't get it better than that. But somehow NiP come out on top. That's the NiP magic that we talk about sometimes, and Ali's looking for another advantage here on this very scrappy buy for Virtus.Pro in the final round of the first half.
This time they go full boost, as we can see. There'll be Ali not in the cubby. He's all the way up on top of the boxes. Last time he was there, he had a rifle. He collected the player from Highway. But they actually haven't come directly into the site while he's been in that position. So it's a common spot. They should check it, but it's very easy to go past it. We've seen Maniac with only a 5-7 pick up multiple 4Ks, 3Ks from that position. So if NiP get careless, he could make them pay for that. And here comes your smoke setup. Who's going to be the player out to long? A little bit slow getting there. It's going to be Forrest. Ali's going to hear him because he ran half the way there. So here comes the rotation already from VP. No smoke out. Ali, do they check it? That's the question. Forrest already finds one. They don't. And he gets there. It is the first one. Luckily, Freiburg reacts perfectly and goes back in and limits the damage as Forrest now will collect Pasha, and it's all down to Neo.
Scout in his hands, though. Can't have big expectations for this man in this little spot. I'm going to get planted there because we can see on Freiburg's cam. So it's going to be pretty difficult, but Neo, of course, going to go for it. Gets a tag. That's really nice there by him, but that is just one tag. Lots more work to do, but he won't get it done. Get right picks up the kill. 8-7 the score. Virtus.Pro. This is the scoreline you predicted on the first half.
It's dead even between these two teams. The problem is that NiP in a lot of the games they've been winning have been doing it on their T side. I'm not sure 7 is enough. This puts a lot of pressure on their CT, and I would say specifically Alu in that mid position.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive that NiP were able to come back, because I think Virtus were like something like 7-4, and their
economy was out. NiP's it actually was, when it was staying even at the start, that favored NiP, or it favored NiP on the T side with the cheaper weapons. Once it started to slip, I didn't think they'd find a way back in. So that's a great recovery. I thought 9-6 was where we would end up after that started happening.
Yeah, no, same thing. I thought Virtus.Pro was starting to run away with it, but NiP bringing it back together. There were a few mistakes, few executional errors from Virtus.Pro that allowed for that to happen. I think Virtus.Pro actually played a little bit better than NiP. That CT side looked actually quite good. They read situations pretty well, had some good setups, but well, that's the rounds that NiP.
And again, the rounds that NiP won were done on great entry picks.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, absolutely, mid one from Freiburg was.
Yeah, that's the highlight for me, basically.
Massive. And Alu, when he got the op-out, he had a 2K in a round again, stayed alive late, got a second kill to bring it back to a 2-on-1 post-plant for NiP. It has to, I mean, those key kills have to be there early in the rounds, it seems, for NiP to really exploit their defenses. And we'll see how they do this time on defense themselves, as Pistol is already underway, and Freiburg's aggressive.
Yeah, just getting a bit of early info at the start of the round, so they know there's no rush at the very least.
Playing a similar setup though. This is almost retake again to A. The difference is that they're going to go with a little more mid presence from VP.
So we'll have to see if they can get this retake working, because Virtus.Pro will beat them onto the site. But that's a great shot from Forrest. Pistol Master coming into play. Does get traded on by Taz. Very key there from Virtus.Pro to keep that short push alive, to force players like Get Right to look behind. Now, Taz is still causing some trouble, but he is going to be overwhelmed right here. But they have switched all the way back towards B here, so NiP are kind of confused as to what's happening. They're all just completely, just all in middle at the moment. I think they've worked it out, but
that's unfortunate. So they'll hear him come through vents. If that vent was already out, this is a good approach to the retake, because they've got 2 going down from CT as well. They can start to pinch and figure out the positions a lot easier. But so far, Virtus.Pro is the one that gets the better of them on the way through. It's Snacks that gets the kill. Exist does find Bialy, low HP, just waiting to use the time to his advantage. And now it gets really awkward as Snacks goes down, and Neo, nothing he can do with only 12 HP.
Wow, NiP going to start things off with a good economy then, and that's cool, because that means we'll get to see the AWPs coming in really fast from Alu and potentially Forrest as well. It's going to be very cool to see what kind of setups they choose to actually play with. There's loads of ways to play it. I mean, we used to see for quite some time that this double AWP setup on this map was like super popular when Titan were really, I mean, back even in the Kali days, when Kali was playing on Titan. So
Kali's programs were playing on Titan.
Yeah, Kali's programs were playing on Titan, exactly. So that fell out of fashion a little bit because it's very high risk, but it all depends on how NiP read Virtus.Pro, what they want to go for. Good shot there by Ali. He was looking for that one.
That bullet came through the wall to clip him too, so he went down to 54.
That's one of the benefits of the Infra 1S. It's so accurate, even though it's not the one-shot kill on the head. It's so accurate. It's very favorable in spots like that.
You have to think right now, if you're TSM, you want NiP. You beat them last weekend in a best-of-3 upper bracket final at CCS. Virtus.Pro has been dead even, and earlier today, Virtus.Pro or rather yesterday, I should say. It's been a bind this weekend, but Virtus.Pro took them again. You have to think they would rather NiP, but right now it could be either of them still, as GetRight needs to hold this site. Taz gets him down. Finally, the M4 comes around from Alu, but he needs to get himself away and back into cover because they're chasing on his position, and there it is. Bialy with that AK will put him down in the end, and this gets back to a 2-on-2. Fortunately, the bomb is down, but it's in a grabbable position. Won't matter if Freiburg gets in one position like that. SMG double kill.
Nice.
Very close, though, it has to be said, considering the situation in the round.
Yeah, that's so cool, though, for NiP. Now, you can see Virtus.Pro going to start to get more and more strained as NiP keep picking up these kind of very economical rounds. So, 9-8 now the score. Complete eco here from Virtus.Pro. And Forrest still with the SMG as well. Now, what are we going to see here from Virtus.Pro? Looks like they're going to go for that A play. Now, we've got two players here for NiP. They've got GetRight and Forrest. Two-man setup, ready to deal with this rush, and they're going to spot the nades in. So it's telegraphed now. It's just about hitting these shots. GetRight in at the back, the quad boxes. Forrest coming around as well. GetRight getting challenged, but he is more than up for the task. They completely clean the floor with their opponents. Just Bialy to pick up a quick frag at the end. But
and
very
GetRight just barely survives again. I thought when he got caught pulling the gun back out and they ran to both sides, I thought he was only going to get the first. Well played by him. But here we go. AKs across all 5 players on VP. 5 smokes. 6 flashes. Let's see what execution they can make work. Smokes are yet. Actually, looks like they're setting up for a wall of smokes mid. That's exactly the case, but they won't capitalize on it. So this may sell NiP to start fading onto B. The bomb is in B main, but
yeah, if they slow the pace down
exactly.
like massively now, then there's a timing window where NiP are like, wait, are they actually going B? But they're pushing checker now. They spotted Neo. The bomb, I'm sure they will spot soon as well. Freiburg's up on the B bomb side itself. He is there alone. He's going to have to do absolute magic with this pop flash, but the flash will not capitalize on Pasha. He's looking the wrong way. Gets the kill into Freiburg. That's cleaning the site here for Virtus.Pro to get the bomb planted. But Forrest jumping around the corner to headshot. Gets eliminated immediately. Snacks coming into play as well. And one by one they fall, these Swedes. From NiP, and it's just on GetRight. 3 players to find, 2 of which quite low, and he does have a kit, but it's going to be a very difficult task, and he's way too far away.
Exactly. He's already given up too much time to play this for a round victory. He just wants to do exactly that, take down Snacks and get guns out. Another low HP player, he'll get Neo. If he found Neo on the way through checker, he would have gone for that. In a 1-on-2, he definitely would have gone for that, but Neo managed to slide out just before he came into vision. So Virtus.Pro answer back early.
It's actually very important as well for GetRight to get those 2 kills to, again, keep the economy honest. I mean, they took down 4 players there, so slowing things down for Virtus.Pro, really mitigating the damage and making it much less valuable for Virtus. But, of course, they're still going to be in a good position now.
Freiburg not hitting that shot on Pasha really changed things, too. He went for that pop flash.
Yeah.
That was the right peek. To peek to the left side, you know there's only going to be one that far, and if he goes right, he's opening himself up to multiple angles. But as soon as he gets that, the rotations were almost in position. Then there was actually a chance to fight over the site. Through the smoke, Freiburg does catch off Snack. They need to be careful. They wanted to go for this vent boost. They will eventually get Exist in position, but it was Harry doing... have they got him in position? Now they do. Failed the first time, will eventually go, but it was risky and Harry getting there. Got a kill on the way, that's the important thing.
Alright, so... that man advantage for NiP, that's going to feel really good, because you can see they don't really have to alter their setup. They're a little bit afraid of that, or it's better to say that they are maybe expectant or prepared for a mid play from Virtus.Pro. Now, if Virtus were to take mid, that does give them a lot of options and potentially a couple frags. And there it is, there's number 1. That's the vent player going down. That's going to encourage even more mid play potentially from Virtus. But here goes Pasha, Freiburg out for the peak. Oh, barely!
That's risky.
Barely doesn't get that kill, and they're going to go towards B right now, but still Virtus, they've left Neo in middle. He's catching Forrest, who was there just trying to figure out what the hell was going on, but Freiburg now, once again, oh, instantly taken down. What a headshot there from Neo, and that's done. NiP cannot get in
Freiburg
here.
was so confident he was going to get that kill. He ran through the fire. He gets it, then he can go out the front side. He only has to run through once. Doesn't get it, has to go back through the fire. Gives up, he was on 100 HP when that play started. Gives up about, I think it was 72 of his health. And then B site drops as soon as Neo came in. It didn't matter, it was a headshot from the AK. He was going down regardless, but That put himself in quite a tough spot, really.
Get right here just playing to, as we saw previously, just get some damage on the exits potentially and keep the money low for Virtus.Pro, which is actually, actually I would say that's a decent investment here because...
Yeah, they are low. There's definitely no question about it. If he can knock down
one thing,
even
by the way,
one, it hurts a lot.
Is that they have found a kind of like a leak for NiP at the moment, which has been Freiberg on B. He's he's had a couple situations which hasn't been going his way right now, and I think you need to credit, of course, Virtus.Pro for just being really on point. But
exists at the start of that round. Remember, he only had the pistol when he went inside vents. If he has a rifle, that could have changed things up a little bit to help support for Freiberg. But again, he got so aggressive through that Molotov.
All right, so get right close to the vent now. He's been playing that position. They have no money, of course, so not much for them to really accomplish here, but they're actually able to take down Taz. Get right with the second kill. This guy is always putting in the work.
Oh, he's going to get caught, though. Doesn't realize there's more coming over and looks away at the wrong time, so Bialy finds him. That brings us back to a man advantage for VP, and look at this, just pistols left for NiP. This is a good push. This is a good way to do this. Stick together and find out as much information at the same time as possible. And it's a bit early. Usually they go around 40 seconds, but where they're this deep in the round and they just know Get Right called it, there was already that many at mid, they'll go anyway.
Yeah, playing this really safely now after all that damage from Get Right.
Straight through the mid, though, from Virtus.Pro. They don't commit to either bomb site.
I mean, this is actually really safe as well because it's actually easier to get into A or to B from that area. Because
double wrap.
Yeah, this is just so safe. I love this from Virtus.Pro. And actually, NiP going to boost up and actually find a weapon. Exist will throw it down, and there's another rifle there as well. And they can save those into the next round if they want to. Well, obviously, they should. So some value picked up here from NiP. That's kind of nice. And Virtus.Pro, depending on how much money they have...
Come here, kitty. Come here, kitty.
They should go for the... they should definitely hunt them down here. They know that there were weapons on the ground. It just depends on how much money Virtus.Pro have right now, whether they want to invest in potentially losing some guys, and they might not want to actually. If you can see here, it's not super strong for them, and we're entering the last 10 rounds, so this is when economy is really going to start being incredibly important. But it's always important, but it's of course becomes game deciding at this point.
BP had one more up on the map. They might have tried to defend those weapons, but where they'd already lost that many, and they don't want to risk giving up anymore. They have to go. Did they? They did lose a man late in the round, so they actually did drop one more gun. But again, they gave up the op. You'd think if 4 men are up, 3 can go to the site. 1 just sits back in mid and waits for anyone to push to that gun, because then they can protect it.
Absolutely. So that's a huge pickup for them. Now, Ali's on the AWP. We haven't seen a lot from Ali with the op so far in this match.
Well, not on the CT side specifically. They haven't really been able to get it out, get the economy rolling. Because the first gun, the 4th round, did go the way of VP. You would have thought that was when you'd start to build into it, and then they'd start to get it out. Never got the chance. It's been quiet. Here's Get Right on A. 2 toward mid, 2 toward B. They'll slide up mid again. It's Alu that hits the shot and then usually comes up, and he's already going to go. He doesn't even wait for the mid pick. He just wants to get in position to help Get Right early, but that smoke's going to hold him off. He's got to go up the ladder. Secondary angle. He's done many damage from here before. But they're already flooding past. Gets the first. It's Taz down. Get Right has to land the shot on Pasha. Does so. This pushes back VP big time, but Alu's caught. Bialy does find him, and Get Right walks into the smoke, completely unaware that Neo was waiting on the other side. And Virtus.Pro have turned this round back. Bomb does go down, and although they don't have positions just yet, there are a lot of smokes to allow them to fall off the site.
Man for man so far. It's a 3-on-3. Snack's going to flash over, creep through the smoke. Small angles available for Snacks. Picks up the kill, but the trade comes in. But that bomb is ticking away. Neo in with another trade. This guy has been on fire for Virtus.Pro in this series, but Exist comes in-game leader here for NiP, ready to save the day. Bialy, though, over by quad boxes. Here he goes! Exist gets the kill. And he's got time
he does.
for the defuse.
Wow, just
so close.
barely. Just barely going to get that one. 11-11. NiP, that round was... Man, there was some crucial kills for VP to bring that back. NiP had the hold because they killed 2 players before they crossed over. Get Right was forward of the smoke. The unfortunate part was he pushed through. Alu went down, which meant everyone was hyper-focused on him, and he pushed through the smoke in exactly the wrong timing because Neo was still waiting.
Yeah, I mean, Neo has actually been fragging like a beast. And across the maps, it's really awesome to see when Neo's playing well for Virtus.Pro, but this is so close, just as we predicted it would be. And now, NiP, they still have the AWP alive on Alu. but they're definitely a little bit strained. You've got the FAMAS on Forest, and a very simple and basic setup from then, with more focus towards middle at the start of the round. This is very standard cash opening from NiP, leaving Get Right alone on Forklift actually on A. But you'd expect Forest to kind of drop back towards A later into the round. They're really, again, worried for that kind of mid-round, mid-timing from Virtus.Pro, but it's just not happening just yet. We do have now Neo moving forwards to checkers. Now Exist is actually in the position instead of Freiburg. And Neo is challenging him. This could be a really important engagement. If Exist goes down quickly, there will be problems. He's got Freiburg back on the corner of the site to play with, and they are up close now.
That's the angle Freiburg has to hit. He has to support. Oh, why does Exist peek back out without Freiburg holding off Neo? If Neo's locked in, that angle doesn't exist.
There's actually no nades left for Virtus.Pro. They don't have any nades to smoke anything off.
They're heading A and they've pulled everyone. Or have they? Second guess from Get Right. He'll sit back and he might be aware early that they will come to A, but Neo's still going to do the damage on the other side. They're not going to have anyone left to rotate. It won't matter.
Get Right. 2 huge kills. Third player is going to take him down, though. Taz gets the bomb down for his team, but Alu wins the duel. But look at that rotation time. It's not that far at all.
Smart from Alu to switch to the AK, because Taz is on 56, so if he can find the shot early enough, the advantage is definitely for him.
He heard him.
Oh, that's the thing. Taz has full position. And now, okay, he gives it up, so Alu gets away there. If he had walked out one more step, he was down. But Taz has got up above, and I'm not sure that Alu's going to be aware. It doesn't matter. He gets the kill. Does he have the time? Yes, plenty. So 2 straight one-on-ones and late diffuses for NiP, and they get back into the lead. This is an excellent match now.
Exist screaming just so joyously there. Alu, though, stone-faced as always, very focused. And we're going to have to see now if they can keep the ball rolling. It's getting really, really tight towards the end of this match now. And that was such a crazy round from VP. They had such a good read into the mid-round to switch up towards the A play. And NiP just kept right, man. This guy just somehow managed to kind of clutch it. And because they didn't have any smokes, Garrett gets his open jewels. So really close, coming down to the smallest margins. And Virtus.Pro are forced to buy here. They got 2 Tech 9s, a lack of grenades. They're going over the top here into mid. They need to get these kills going for them. But Forrest with that AK, he's so low, gets 1 frag that he gets traded upon by Taz. And now things are looking interesting as Virtus.Pro now have middle.
And Get Right changes his angle massively, because if they come up highway, which they've opened up, he's completely exposed. This way they have a crossfire with Alu. That last round went to Virtus.Pro, and I'm not sure if NiP would be able to claw back from the deficit would have created. Instead, they've got themselves a massive chance, but it's all going to be Freiburg to hold them off B. So far, they get passive, but they do have every angle held. Exists, though, no smoke to hold him off. That gives him vision. He only gets 1. He sprays away, but the kills go the way of VP, and Alu now has to get in position and do it again. Late in the round, it's him and Get Right to close it out. 1 man down, but no crossover yet from the bomb. Actually, it is toward the generator, but they can't get back in toward the site. But Alu does drop. This gives them full control, and Get Right 1-on-3. Does he go for it? That's the bigger question. No, he's going to fall, or does he? Yeah, he's gone.
So again, we're seeing trouble holding the B-bomb site, and it's really been a problem for NiP. They had a decent situation there because they didn't get smoked off or anything. Both Freiburg and Exist could work into frags, but they just didn't get enough kills going for them to allow a retake. So Virtus.Pro somehow coming out on top there, and it's going to be really interesting to see now how this dynamic changes. Are NiP going to switch something up? Are they going to get a little bit more aggressive? Because we're not seeing a style of play from NiP where they early in the round just try to say, okay, we're going to put, let's say, 3 players B, take B storage really quick, then fall back. These are plays that a lot of teams like to go with, just to mix it up, a little bit of aggression, get some information, some map control away from their opponents. NiP, though, they're playing it very standard at the moment. It's a very close game, but we're now starting to see that they're going to be losing out on the economy.
I mean, a big thing, again, though, does come down to Get Right picking up that double 2 rounds ago, because we can see, even though they won that, as soon as they lost this one, look how broke they are. Look how tight this economy is. We could be at 14 now for VP, and again, I don't think you'd have to have the biggest mastic. Yeah, obviously, by the way, yes, we are in a tactical pause. That's quite obvious and evident at this point, because this is, again, winner of this match goes to the finals, loser's done. But unless, you have the most magical moment for NiP yet, you're not coming back against the way Virtus.Pro is playing right now. So by getting that round, having that heroic play, this still gives them a fighting chance, but it's not, I mean, they're still going to have to play from behind essentially right here. Specifically economically, It can be done. It definitely can be done. Envious has done it multiple times, as has Fnatic. Just getting right now, they don't have a position to get an op-out, but just having one rifle in the right spot at a choke point, if it can trade out 2, then you just get the pistols up close when they wrap around. A is a fairly closely contested site if the pistols are up, underneath quad, underneath catwalk, behind the red. If they're too far out, then there's no chance.
Yeah, it's going to be just a gambles basically. They're going to have to make a really nice read or just a super strong gamble. And it's I wonder what's because we saw that Freiburg was doing a lot of the talking there with between Natu and Exist chiming in as well. So definitely, and Freiburg's. I think he's been having some issues on the B holds. Maybe it's also a lack of information as well, putting him in hard spots to deal with. So I think he's not super happy with how that side of the map's been going for them. Of course, it's just a bit of a guess, but we have been seeing Virtus.Pro do very, very well in some of the end round situations there, getting very good trades.
And it's good to see Natu already contributing to these conversations because his impact on the team is going to be interesting to watch unfold. So it is only this 1 AK, and again, I said they have to get up close with these pistols. That is a gamble because they have been playing loose in far angles with the rifles. And that's been where most of their success comes from. But here we go. Forrest is going to take the fight. This is exactly what they have to do with these. The problem is, does he go through or not? No, he waits. Good crossfire set with Exist as well.
And Virtus.Pro, they know the money situation here for NiP. They're going to play a little bit safe. Molotov into the back of the site. Very simple execute in towards A. Through the smokes there. Oh, that's a great Molotov onto the forklift. But Exist, he's going to just juke and jive. Gets 2 quick kills. Great stuff there from Exist. 3-on-3 all of a sudden. And GetRice found himself an AK-47. So, of course...
That's the one they had from the start of the round. That is the only rifle they had at the start of the round. But what a play from Exist to get across in that smoke. They had no idea. And that's the tunnel vision that so many teams do. When they're so committed to getting a kill that changes the round. Now the rifle's out. And with Alu dropping, VP do close it. But that was close. For a moment there was definitely a chance for NiP to close out the last remaining players.
Hold on to that. Like having Exist with those 2 kills, but still having the saved rifle on the site for the good angles on the defense. If Gary just hits that first shot on the guy turning the corner on him, who knows? You have it could have happened there for NiP. So close. But VP, they have a huge advantage moving into the last stages of this this final map, which will of course send one of these teams to the grand finals here. So very important stuff. And Neo is already working his way onto B, and this double eco situation is so painful at this stage for NiP.
So painful.
You need to be so composed for this.
Oh, Freiburg, 3 HP. Smart play. Does actually shift out at the right time because Neo came through and spammed the corner.
And NiP, they really have to dig deep here. They're not going to get many chances to get back into this match after they get into their bye. And this is like the true test that all kind of championship level teams go through when it looks like you're down, looks like you're out, but you find a way back into the match. That's what NiP have to do right now. Virtus.Pro looking pretty good, but this is a nice development here for NiP on the damage at the very least. Or maybe even to be able to pick up some weapons into the next round. But Taz is coming to clean up that possibility for NiP as he goes for the back, but Forrest with the P250 is going to find himself another gun to play with.
That's the thing, though. They just dropped one of the AKs, and is it worth it to save them? They don't have any HP. They're not going to. Double eco means they can still buy, but saving the AKs gives them that much more going further because now they're going to buy in to potentially what could be match point for VP, whereas if they save those, they can buy in and still potentially have something left over for the next round when they have to play for overtime.
I guess what they're thinking there as well is that we potentially, we want to get as much damage as physically possible, because then if we completely just wipe out Virtus.Pro once or twice, we force them to an eco. Of course, there's not many rounds left to do that, but we got double up indeed. Alu and Forrest. So we haven't seen this yet so far for NiP. Big risk. Can it give them the big rewards?
Have to go big risk at this point, and there already it's paying off because Forrest is your second opper, and he's got the first kill at Snacks. So get right alone on A. Look at the grouping at mid right now from NiP. They want to completely limit VP's options early, get a read potentially, and with Forrest, he'll be able to fall back inside B. Still has Freiburg in there with them, and now they'll slowly shift back to A to help out Get Right. And that is where VP's grouping, with the bombs all the way back at the backside of Long. So they haven't committed just yet.
And NiP have actually put 2 guys just on the B-bomb site itself now, just hiding on the boxes. They've got the advantage. They want to play it passively, defensively. Is it going to work out, though? So far, so good. Ali still by the car position. The long-range spray down from Exist is good. And it's just Bialy now. So it looks like NiP done a good job here, and they have a strong advantage to win this round, but Bialy could make things complicated for them.
That bomb's so far away. Yeah, there you go. So double op definitely paid off because they got 3 kills between the two of them.
Now they know about it, though, and it was also really, really awesome for them that they only lost 2 players. That's like the acceptable loss. Anything more than that, and they sort of have some issues. And, of course, they're going to need everything to win these remaining rounds. 13-14, Virtus.Pro on a bye. It's not the best bye ever. They have a few grenades to work with, but not very many. We can expect a fast-paced round here.
Wow.
Already kicking things off there is Forest.
What a peek by him as he walks out at exactly the right time, and the smoke was cutting out and in place, catches off Taz. Neo does respond though. That's drop down at B, but Freiberg double from him. We've questioned his ability to hold the site. He does it perfectly that time. Gets Exist into position, and we are knotted up again. And the economy gets very weak right now for VP.
This is so tight right now. 14 rounds. It's going to be very interesting to see if NiP are going to be able to just keep this going, because they look much more fresh now. They look better. They look more inspired. Virtus.Pro, thanks to some of the damage they did put in on that one of those saves from the double eco rounds that they were on previously. Virtus.Pro don't have much cash to play with, and they didn't get the bomb down either. These clean rounds, it's really paying off for NiP.
One flash.
Get right though. He's going to be overwhelmed. He's got to be able to get some really fast kills here. There's a nice incendiary. Pulls out the M4. Spray comes into play. Alu's got the cover on the other angle. Quick plant to get the bomb down. Oh, knife!
Cadian!
Oh, no, not
Bialy
quite.
gets him.
Almost, but not quite. And NiP, somehow, they, again, for so many rounds, they did look down and out. They called the tactical timeout. But here they are. They're looking to take this right here, right now. They're on map point, 15-14. Virtus.Pro now the ones in huge amounts of trouble.
That was a perfect double eco to get the ops out. That made a huge difference, and then suddenly it all turns around. The bomb did go down. That's crucial for VP, because now Snex gets the op up. And that one flash they used was actually well played, because it did force Get right off so they could come out with numbers, and he couldn't spray them before they even got there. Didn't matter, he held strong. Skybox boost Force. Man, they're changing it up perfectly timed. NiP, these weren't plays they were playing so passive and so conservatively. Now they're throwing at all the stops at Virtus.Pro, and they catch them again. That's just frustrating for VP, because they haven't seen that all game, and then it's successful. Nade also massive damage.
100 damage from that grenade, spread across 2 players on the boost spot. Everything is lining up for NiP at the moment, and Virtus.Pro, they themselves are going to have to find something incredibly special. Pop flash in there for Get Right potentially to peek. I think it's a little bit too far away, so not going to capitalize on that and spot what's going on in A main. But they have Alu on the peak. They've got the man-up advantage. Everything is lining up indeed for NiP at the moment. They've Virtus.Pro have left 1 man in mid. They're going to go for the A split. It could all be over here very shortly for Virtus.Pro.
Here's the entry. Alu shuts down the first. That's Taz. The fire's going to hold them off even more. So even though they want to split, they're completely separated. And as a result, Neo's off on the backside. There's no chance right now for anything, as only one remains. It's Bialy as Alu hits the shot. And no, he's on 1 HP. Exist will get it. And NiP with, I don't know if you want to call that magic. I just call that great play. That's old. I mean, that's NiP just with full confidence to change things up. Forest stepping up massively with the second op. And they pull it off, and now they play TSM.
This reminds me of the major that NiP won, where basically they were it looked like they were struggling all the time. And honestly, when watching this series with NiP, I was like, it feels like there are problems here, that they're experiencing some issues with their play. It's not looking like, you know, everything is lined up, everything is working, everything's, you know, just they're going through the motions. They're hitting these obstacles and stops. We saw the tactical timeout. They had to sit down and talk through the situation. But somehow, NiP, you can never bet against them, I swear.
I want to actually talk to them and just see what Natu had to say in that conversation.
Yeah.
It would be really interesting. I don't expect his contribution was huge. Maybe just, you know, a composure thing. Maybe try this. But it's interesting that he's already into those conversations late in the game. I expected he'd be a little more passive with his start in the role, but he's got a ton of experience. And NiP, there you go. You have to think as well that TSM, this is the matchup they want. We talked about that when it was 8-8, that VP's been a lot harder for them to play, and they beat NiP last weekend in the upper bracket at CCS. They get to do it again, potentially. But keep in mind as well, we've had everyone in the top 6 this year win a tournament except NiP. NiP did win RO whatever Asus in Finland, but there wasn't much of a competition there. Why can I not remember what that was called?
ROG.
There we go. Thank you.
Asus ROG.
They did actually win that, but they haven't won anything with valued competition against them. And if they do that, I can't think of another season in CS history ever where we'd have 6 top teams win 6 big tournaments.
Yeah, it was actually so cool. Actually thinking about it to see just Forrest go, hey, I'm gonna exist. He was supporting Freiburg more. Instead they said double up. I'm Forrest. I'm going to B. I'm going to help you out, Freiburg, on B. It just clicked. It just everything clicked. Fantastic to see. NiP are going to make the final.
That's the thing. I mean,
that's amazing. I wasn't
they're
expecting that.
always finding themselves in finals again, though. It's been a lot of second places. Hopefully, they can go one further. TSM's already done it. They got out of their closet. They let the skeletons out. But NiP's turn, and I think it's going to be. I mean, the weird thing is when TSM is in any game, because they aren't that clear-cut ahead of anyone, it's always fun to watch. And I think this series sets up for something very interesting. So we were expecting an interview. We don't have one. I guess that means we get to talk longer, Dan.
All right, well, that's great. That's great. We haven't casted this event so far. This is the first time we got to cast today.
It is the first time we get to cast.
We have so many casters here, which
Actually,
is awesome.
That's my last cast in Europe. I just thought of that.
Oh, my God. What are you going to do?
Get on a plane and go back to Canada to see
no,
my
you
dog.
need to come back again.
Maybe. That would be fun. I would enjoy that. It's been a good
America
time over
can't
here,
have
actually.
you. And they can't have you. You're now.
I'll go
a
to
European.
the highest bidder.
We'll
I'm on
hook you
eBay
up
right now.
with the European citizenship. It's going to be fine.
I'm on Backpage right now.
Oh. Well, I hope we can get you back over sooner rather than later as well.
It would be a lot of fun to come back over. It's been a good time. And
there must be a crazy, it's 2 or 3 months for you?
I mean, it's eye-opening. Jam-packed 2 months, I did 4 lands, and it's been eye-opening because in North America, that's like a whole year a whole year I would have that many lands. So it definitely is, it's awakening to me that how serious it is over here. It's been a ton of fun, and this event as well has just been awesome. All the games I've seen, I haven't seen too many one-sided matchups the whole time I've been in Europe. It's been pretty good the whole way through. I think that speaks to the testament of the whole season so far.
Yeah, absolutely. And I have to say, as far as Europe goes, what's your compared to Canada? How are things? Do you like it? Is it good? Do you want to move here? Could you see yourself living in?
I always said
my
tastes were more European. Like all the sports I was always into were more European. So I could see myself living here. Yeah, maybe. I don't know where yet. London's a little pricey for me.
London's pretty pricey. Yeah.
But Bucharest was nice.
Yeah.
Got to get my 4-legged friend over here though. I don't think I could leave her.
Oh yeah. Of course.
Hard.
Yeah, your dog.
It's a romance. Yeah.
He has a super cute dog. I've seen the pictures.
I got the hottest bitch, let me tell you.
All right, it's a good time to bring the other guys back onto the cast.
Okay, Sadikist, I'll be your 3-legged friend.
Oh, tripod.
Okay. We were doing so well today.
It was super smooth until then. That's good. It's all good. Welcome back to Desk, guys.
Thank you very much.
So that was a pretty crazy match.
Do you remember what Lord Thorin's prediction was? Really close. After the 2 stomps, that's the title, the official title. Don't make me get this crown out more for.
Wait,
we're starting again. We're starting to roll again.
You could wear the crown.
You are Lord Thorin. We're going to let it go. Let's get to the point.
Okay, so anyway, like I said, the first 2 games, stomps one way or the other, but the third game, both really good on this map, had all the makings of a classic, and I think that was a classic match. Now, in the end, listen, VP were really gritty. They kept pushing. They got to 14 rounds first, but I think in the end, VP grit was overcome by #NiP Magic. It's back, boys.
I knew that was coming. I tried not to say anything until he...
It's back. Oh, yeah. Get Right was pulling rabbits out of hats. Yeah. Alu was chopping a woman in half. No, that's actually a trick, not like what you guys do on the... to release the bad energy of being casters, and not getting the attention of the community that you deserve. And... Freiburg was shuffling the ace to the top of the deck, and Exist was correctly guessing that someone's grandmother had died 3 months earlier and giving them a message from the spirit world. And what would the last guy?
I like how the rest. I like how they're magicians, and then one's like a medium.
Yeah,
that's
magic as well. That's magic as well.
They're all morbid though too, like cutting a girl in it. Where's the positive card trick? They just guess.
Sadikist, I know you come from the sticks in Canada, but they don't actually cut the woman in half, mate. That's a trick. That's actually someone else's legs at the bottom. You're and they altered it. Oh my god! Murder. And then she's back to left. Yay!
All right.
What gameplay?
Kinky, that's all.
What gameplay aspects separated these teams
back
apart
in
from
the game
magic?
again? Okay. Party pooper.
It was
sorry. Back in the game, Mike.
I have to do it. It's my job.
Let me think.
What gameplay aspects separated these teams in the end because it was a very, very close match. Do you want me to take over to Dan first and maybe you have a think?
I mean, I thought in this game Get Right was very good again. I think he had some really big players. like when I say NiP magic, what I usually refer to by that is somehow they have this scenario where they can be in a 1v2 and you're like, okay, the other guy should be able to get this. They've got the positioning. And again, they come up with these miraculous plays that just shouldn't happen in some senses. I mean, think of Taz's 1v1 there where he was against, was it Alu or Get Right? I forget who it was, but in that scenario, 99% of the time, the guy comes off that little area under the ladder, and Taz is behind the forklift, he probably just gets that kill. But he sees the first part of the model, and for some bizarre reason, he just panics and fires, and then the guy knew exactly where he was. So in that sort of a scenario, that's like an almost guaranteed kill, where the last spot you'll check ends up being the one that you know he's at, and so... Yeah, you can't predict that. I mean, NiP can't predict that. They're having to hope, like, I hope something special happens when I go over into this 1v2 now.
Do you think that's what gave NiP an edge? Because VP kept losing those, like, 1v1 bomb-down situations. There was a couple in a row that they lost after, I think, the 20th round. And you could hear the guys, like, getting angrier and angrier. They were making... They were vocalizing it.
Yeah, you could also hear NiP getting super pumped up, which you don't normally see. Like, it's not that you don't normally see it, but normally they aren't in that position where they need to rile themselves up. They're just so calm and controlled. There was definitely emotion out there, yeah, and I think NiP needs to get that life into them. They've been a little quiet in situations like this. The other thing is, it was funny that the one-on-one started going their way, because at the start of the match, they were going the other way. There was that 2-on-2 in A. I think it was Alu that actually peaked from main, and he got taken down, and then it went just, I can't remember if it was Get Right or Freiberg, but he dropped as well, and that was the turning point. After that, all the one-on-ones went to NiP. So it was like completely polar opposites between the two halves.
Yeah, okay. We're going to have a look at some highlights from the first map. I believe it's round 20. So we're going to see that on the screen now. And Thorin, take us through this. It's a Freiberg clip.
I think I remember the clip, actually. So presumably he's going to be over in B on this. We're starting at the beginning of the round here, so it'll have to develop. But I think this is the clip where he did like the patented Freiberg spray where you control, you keep spraying the same spot, but you move, and all the bullets somehow go in that one area. So let's see here. So obviously it's looking good at the moment for Virtus.Pro.
Here we go.
4v3. Freiberg, I mean, obviously that's one of the patented spots he's played his whole career. Play over the coils there.
Yeah, Dan, anyone feel free to talk about this as well, because you guys were seeing it live. And
so the cool thing for me in this round, of course, is the spray that we're talking about, and of course that crazy finish with the pistol on 9 HP. The thing about that round is that this is like why it's like kind of NiP magic, some of like rounds like that, because to me it's a round where what the opponent's doing, they're countering what NiP have. They should win on paper every time, but NiP just
that was actually that round we just saw as we look at the overpass round here from VP. That was actually similar to Get Right spray down. Yeah, map 2, of course. That was similar to Get Right spray down on overpass, or probably on cash late, which swayed things back in NiP's favor.
Yeah, from short.
Yeah. And this was Pasha. This was the round actually where the first player went down, and then they immediately had the rotation in to support Pasha, because as we saw, there was a second player in the form. I think it was Snacks that came in, but again, just a lot of support on the site. And NiP they had position right there. They had people push back where they could have put the bomb down the front side of the box, and NiP need a little more awareness on I think their A takes on overpass for sure.
Would you agree, Thorin?
I mean, it's not a map they're very comfortable playing. It's not like they have the routine down or what to do there. Meanwhile, VP, I mean, we've seen them play it in this tournament already. They definitely can perform on that map. I think actually that classic spray we were talking about before, the Freiberg spray, is one where actually that was the necessity. Because the guy came around so fast and he saw there was 2 people coming, he can't just stop spraying there and pull back. If he does that, he gives up the whole site. It's actually a harder retake. So he's kind of forced into doing that spray there. But that was one of the things from the beginning of CSGO. The 2 guys who were the craziest with the spray was Get Right and Freiberg, actually. Those are the 2 where they could just spray the full clip and still get the kill at the end. Whereas early on in CSGO, not many players could actually do that. It took a long time before that was kind of developed. Cool. And then obviously most of the overpass examples are going to be for Virtus.Pro.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a couple more here. I think we've got round 13.
This was the nutty jump shot. This was I didn't actually realize the first time it was through the sign. So we actually spotted him on the way up. Yeah, there you go.
He was like, yes, I am able to do that.
And then this is round 14 as well.
Oh, my God.
By Neo.
But that was really sick from Neo.
I picked up on that. I got
He's like, take a seat, because I am able to do that. Okay.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Yeah.
And then Neo also laying the smackdown.
The other round that, I don't know if we're going to see it or not, that was important and pretty massive was the way Bialy plays on the inner side of the slope at B. When they walked out of Monster, he just lined up 2 players, and again, it's a headshot position. He can get the shot and fall super quickly. Whereas NiP, even if they want to stagger their peak, they have to come out, stop themselves, and then go back away. It's like a half-second difference that just gives Bialy the advantage.
So yeah, this is a clutch where afterwards, Exist just like start screaming because of how important this was for NiP.
The door was open too, so Snacks had a good entry. I mean, again, I remember saying at the time, if that door was shut, they'd hear him open it and turn instantly.
This
so
is where he has to no-scope
yeah,
as well, because there's no time left.
Yeah, and look how close that was. So Alu made the right play and had full confidence to do it. But again, if that door was closed, Exist would have had the shot originally. So it was a little bit of fortune for Snacks. But man, this
Snacks
was
actually,
so close.
Like Snacks played that so perfectly well because he can't know where the opponent's going to be. He checks the very close angles and he gambles on it's very likely that they're going to be quite far away.
How close it was.
And I guarantee you as well.
He didn't waste any time going for that defense.
I guarantee you as well that if the bomb was even like an inch out further, he would have said not to bother. He would have tried to bait it, but he that was a good read for him to say, I can actually be in full cover.
Yeah, Snacks made the right play there, and that's
again the only thing is though he didn't do like the classic spamming control at all. So maybe he could have thrown him off a bit by doing that, but it probably wouldn't have worked anyway. Because usually that's versus a rifle. You're hoping that they try and spray on you when you spam control.
I think this is the round. Yeah, round 20. No, so Get Right. Yeah. This is the one where they actually sell it on to be. Oh, this isn't. I'm being told it's not. I thought this was it.
No, I think it might be that.
This is the Get Right when the bomb actually doesn't get crossed over. I thought this was the one on A from Barrels, though. But this was equally as good because, look, there are two men down here. And again, it's Alu and Get Right that were closing out a lot of the rounds together.
I'm not really sure why this is a highlight, actually.
Yeah, no, I think
he's saving his gun.
I don't even know if it is.
Originally, I told him the whole
frags, baby.
You don't nail them all, you know.
Right, let's come back.
You miss every shot you don't go for. That's what the production team think, you know.
I thought this was actually, so I told them to hold it because I thought this was going to be the round at Barrels. Yeah, no, this is not the round I thought it was.
There's not a whole lot of anything, but okay.
And back we are. Hello. That's cool, though. See some highlights.
Yeah.
And we're actually seeing a lot of highlights there from VP, so it's sad to see VP go. Give us your thoughts about VP's performance overall in this tournament.
It feels strong because the two teams that they took to the absolute limit was TSM and NiP, who are now the two teams in the final.
Yep.
But I also feel like the fact it always took that from VP shows that their strengths and their weaknesses are on display in both games. Like they're so gritty. They always have that third map comeback somehow. But also they're not just just closing people out. They play this dangerous game where they get into those crazy scenarios and they have to hope, well, if we're against TSM, okay, we'll get the better of those. But against NiP, the patented NiP magic, that sometimes is a dangerous game to play. So for me, I feel like VP is one of the few teams in the last few months with all this kind of turmoil of different teams getting better and other ones going down that have almost not changed at all. To me, they're still stuck in that fourth or fifth sort of place. They're still really good. They'll beat most of the teams below them, but they're going to have their difficulties winning tournaments and beating all the teams above them. You know, maybe they can win one. They won against TSM here, but to ask them to beat two teams that are ahead of them at the moment, I don't know, something about it. They haven't quite got it yet, I don't think.
How about you guys? You sad to see VP leave us?
I don't think at this point in the tournament you can really be sad for anyone. Everyone's put up good. This is the way that it all goes. I mean, this is Counter-Strike. Someone's got to lose. I mean,
that's very true.
You're just gonna sit here and feel sorry every time? Let's just give them all a prize. No, I think
I do. I spend this entire weekend just being sad.
I think in the group stages, VP was. You're always sad.
See, I imagine DDK actually does, though. He's such a nice guy. He goes up to, like, my condolences to you guys. I really was hoping that you'd make it the better.
To finish the point before, because I can see this never getting done, VP was the best team in the group stages. So in that regard, at least in my opinion, yeah, it's a little sad to see them not get rewarded for that. But you've got to show up every single game, and NiP was the one that definitely showed up here today in much better fashion. Again, we didn't expect much from them on Overpass, but go back to Inferno. They stomped VP, which VP's normally pretty good at.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those situations. I think Celica's nailed it pretty well there. The thing is, NiP, they're getting better throughout the tournament. Again, it's that peaking thing. I mean, this is what NiP always do, and it is happening here. We always have our worries at the start, like, well, it looks like a bit of a struggle. They're not playing super well. I mean, there are some teams that, like, for example, Fnatic are a team that are generally just always look pretty consistent throughout a tournament. But NiP, they're just it's the usual standard stuff. VP, I guess they're not going to be jumping any rankings over NiP anytime soon, but it's getting closer and closer. But NiP TSM, I actually didn't expect this for the finals. I'm not sure what the thoughts are generally on the panel about this for a final, but
that'd be interesting coming into this weekend. Let's find out, Thorin. Did you see this to be the final, TSM?
No, I thought it would be TSM Fnatic. Actually, I thought those were because I thought Fnatic's got the overall better form. I thought until that point in time, TSM's coming in really hot though, and they seem to have changed some things. So it's like the best team right now versus the best team overall over the last few months. So I thought that would be the obvious matchup here. Also because with how the groups were, I thought, okay, well, if both top their groups, they'll meet in the final anyway. It turned out differently, and we could only have one of those teams. So taking aside the fact that it wasn't possible then, once the semi-finals were set to have them both, I think these are still the two best teams we've got overall in that sort of setup. I think NiP is better than VP overall. Now, a close matchup together, but I think NiP's a better team overall.
Yeah. And Sadakist, for the final,
I think TSM's going to be happier that they're playing NiP, actually.
Yeah.
Because VP consistently, yes, okay, it's
Yep.
3-2 in series, it's close. VP always gives them an uncomfortable run. Whether it's, whether they win the series or not, it's high pressure, it's high stress, and that's where we see a lot of problems come out for TSM. That's when they're known to do the choking. Whereas NiP, it's been back and forth this season. Last weekend, they actually beat them quite convincingly in 2 maps in Romania. If they can give a similar performance. Map pool is going to be interesting. I think it's going to be pretty obvious Cobble and Overpass go out really fast. Because I think NiP's going to have to ban out Overpass. And fortunately for them this time, TSM don't like playing Cobble. So it's going to be a more standard map pool. But I think TSM have a better chance against NiP than they would have had against VP.
Yeah, I think it's going to be very interesting, considering TSM have been so informed today and yesterday and this whole weekend, and obviously in the last tournament as well.
Yep.
And NiP, a little bit shaky, but they're showing us right now what they can do. So definitely stick with us, guys. We have the grand final coming up very soon. Are we doing this first?
Oh, God.
I need to zoom in so everyone can see. What is it?
Thorin got an op.
What was it? It's an AWP. Okay, you can also win an AWP while we're waiting for the grand final. Guys, thank you for joining me, Thorin. You'll be back very soon, and I don't know, you casting the final?
TDK's back.
You're coming back soon as well. So this was your last European commentating
Gonna pull the
gig.
disappearing. Yeah.
We
Not
wish
ever,
you well.
Hopefully not ever.
Hopefully not ever.
And kicking the ass on the way out. Good riddance. See you later. Yeah. No, it's good.
No, we love you. Thank you for coming and joining us in.
Thanks for having me. Thanks to the
And you
community.
made it the
was well
furthest of
embraced.
any North American in any of these tournaments, but you still didn't
Someone
make the
actually
final.
tweeted me that. Yeah.
Better luck next
Someone
time.
tweeted me that yesterday. Yeah, the best North American at the event has been.
Okay.
Right, guys.
Risky.
We are going to be going to the grand finals very, very soon, and keep with us. Here's a break.